The first one is on a C chord, this C major. Here's the concept, is that you, like I mentioned earlier, I won't spend too much time on this. I know some of you have already done this with me, but you want to visualize your 3 notes of a C major triad. The very first embellishment, this is about the embellishments, that I love to use is half step below. I call that the approach note, where you're doing this. C chord. You can vary it up rhythmically. Play around with the rhythm. You can even hit the note below it. In this. Great something. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it is.
And that's all on a C chord. Ron's just playing the C major chord. Okay, so that's the half step below. You don't have to just every time do this. Even though it does sound like the Django tune, appel and direct, where Django actually is doing that on that tune. And that's why, to me, this is a big part of the Django vocabulary, because Django did, on that song, he actually is visualizing a C6 chord, which is A minor 7, C6. The 6th degree is kind of considered as a chord tone, actually. So we're talking about the embellishments worksheet, number 1, just C major. I'm just demonstrating here with Ron on a C chord, the half step below the lower neighbor, okay? Just have fun with that again. But what's required of you is to know where C is. C, 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 and C. And do that everywhere. And just embrace that lower neighbor tone. Don't be afraid to hang on it. You know, you can start right on it, okay? And you could even do stuff like this. This may or may not be on the worksheet, but you'll see it on my etudes. It's to start on the chord tone and go below the note and then come back to it. It's kind of like, it would sound like this. Okay, that's a very common one, that nice embellishment, okay? There's a couple things I'm really stressing is to visualize your C major chord, your bar chord, or your triads, you know, whether you're on the guitar or the ukulele too, and try to learn it at least in one position and really get it down really well. That half step lower neighbor, the approach, is really a beautiful one. The next one, and this is going to open up some ideas for a lot of you, I know, because I've taught this for many years now, and it did for me. The next one is the upper neighbor tone, and again, kind of confusing as well. So the upper neighbor tone, I call it the scale degree, okay? And this can be subjective depending on what color you want. But if we're in the key of C major, the next chord is D minor. So to demonstrate that, here's C major, here's D minor. So I'm thinking C major, D minor. So this embellishment is the scale tone or chord tone above. It could be either or, but this. It's very pretty. And that's just all on a C, visualizing the shape. But to me, I'm also visualizing the D minor. So that's how I know which note above to hit. So again, but there's a little formula. There's a formula. On the root, it's a whole step. On the 5th degree, it's a whole step. And then on the third degree, because 3 to 4 is a half step in the major scale, it's half step. So you have this, or just 3 notes. And that's usually the problem, is that the player, the student, can't keep track of where that third is. Not to say it's going to sound bad, because if you do a sharp 4, if you do a whole step, you get a Lydian. If that's the desired flavor. But otherwise, you kind of want to do this exercise through your inversions, just to demonstrate C, 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 and the half step here. So you got to visualize these C shapes. Now it's starting to sound like a scale. Or if you do it ascending, listen to this. But I'm not really thinking of it as a scale, but we have 6 notes of these 7 notes of the major scale. That's more than a pentatonic scale. So it really is a scale. I'm not thinking of it as a scale, I'm just thinking of this triad. But if I did that lick, it sounds like a scale. It almost sounds like Dickie Betts there, if you guys are Allman Brothers fans. I think they actually call that the Dickie Betts scales. I think I saw a video where somebody said that was a Dickie Betts scale. But it's like a pentatonic scale with the 4th degree. Okay, anyways.
Yeah.
Ron, do you mind just thumping out a C chord? Now I'm fancying it with articulation. I call that later on a la Django, these slurs. But it's so pretty to me. I love that sound. And again, I'm thinking this, C major and D minor, those 2 triads. So it's, again, the formula, if you want to know the formula, is whole step above the root, whole step above the 5th, but a half step from 3 to the 4. Okay, so those are you have the half step below, and that's easiest, because then you don't have to keep track of whether you're on the root 3rd or 5th. And then on the major chord here, for the above embellishment, you want to keep track of that, okay? The next one, if I had my computer, I would show a picture of Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa. Beautiful. Now, Mona Lisa. After the tune, Mona Lisa. I'm not going to try singing it for you, but it's just that motif. Da da dee da. So that little lick there, we're starting on the chord tone. And then we're going a half step below it, and then scale tone above it, or chord tone, and then resolving it back to the root. I will have written Mona Lisa. And it's kind of what they call an enclosure as well. That's another fancy name, to kind of decorate around it. Okay, so we just want to be able to do that everywhere, but again, just on one shape. Okay, so give that all a try. I'm just walking through the Triad embellishment worksheet number 1. There's a lesson online too on YouTube and all this stuff. I'm just going through this for anybody who's new at this. And then there's some fancier things. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit here. And again, I don't know if I'm going 100% in order here, but now I call this one the enclosure. I don't know now, but I'm going to go to the one that's called the Django, a la Django. I really love this one. So that's very Gypsy jazz, very Django. That involves getting the triplet slur. So you're starting on the chord tone, and here I'm going to start on the C. I'm going above it, and then back to it as a triplet. Below it, and then back to the note. In this case, I'm on the root. and then I'm going to go to the 3rd degree, 5th degree, and then the root again. So again, you will get these down as you just kind of, these are kind of technical studies too. Here we go. Keep going. Thanks, Ron. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down. Do you want to try this one here? In the sequence shape? Yeah, just do this right here. Yeah, let's do it together. Well, this is another demonstration for those who missed the demonstration of this with 2 guitars. It's really beautiful to create these instant harmonies. So check it out here, Ron. If you can do that one, and I'll do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Close.
Yeah. That's the idea again. Okay, so that's the a la Django one. There's some fancier ones with a snare, I see. But let's not worry about that. I'm going to show you now, show you guys the minor stuff, and I'm going to go a little bit quicker about this one. The minor one, it's the same idea for the lower neighbor tone. Of course, you got to just flat your 3rd. But the upper one, this is where there's some questions, Ron. I think you've had questions like this in the past. If I'm playing the tune minor swing, I often like the natural 6th degree. So I'm going to go to, let's stay on C minor. But here's a C minor chord. I'm going to start a whole step above every note. That's just the easiest way to think of it. So we're on C minor, and it's going to be basically playing D minor. That sound. So I'm thinking this. Okay. Whole step above. That means you get a natural 6th degree. I know on a minor chord, sometimes a flat 6 is really sweet and dark. Like you're playing Dark Eyes or something. But again, this is just a really pretty general. I love the minor. Do you mind just playing minor 6, C minor 6? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's a 6. Here's a flat 6. And that's beautiful too. But because he's playing a C minor 6, it sounds really like it fits the chord nicely too. It's the only difference really. All the other exercises are the same. The last thing I want to go to, that was Triad Embellishments number 2. Triad Embellishments number 3 is, it says C7 darker gypsy jazz flavor. This one's really interesting. You'll often hear me refer to this as the caravan hack. So I'm thinking this C major, and then I go up half step to D flat major. So that's kind of what I'm thinking again, are these 2 chords, C major and D flat major, like this. And that's a pretty dark flavor. So even though the chord might say on the chart C7, probably, it can even be just a C triad. Ron, can you do this? C7. Half step above. So let me talk theoretically why it sounds so cool and so dark. You get the flat 9, this is theory talk now. You get the flat 9 on the C chord. This on the same C shape we did earlier on the major triad, right? Don't forget, this concept is we're thinking triads, but that Ron was just playing C7. Okay, so it works on a dominant chord too. So if you want a darker flavor, that's what I usually say, if you want a darker flavor, use this method of just playing a half step above major triad. So we're still visualizing these chord shapes. So you have this flat 9, now I'm talking chop here, flat 13 on a dominant chord, or sharp 5, and then the 4th degree, which is a really dark color, but it still sounds a little bit dark. So, and now I'm going to play like a scale. Now I'm going to add the half step below. Big F minor there, but that was not. But now I'm kind of in a minor key, like I'm playing Caravan, or just a song where it's going C7, F minor, like Dark Eyes, or a lot of these Gypsy jazz songs, 5/1. So that's one little hack or method that I love to do. Is just think. I see the dominant chord on the chart. It says C7. But I'm thinking C major triad with a half step above embellishment. And then when you combine it with that lower neighbor tone, you get stuff like this. And then I resolved it to an F minor chord because I'm thinking like a minor flavor. And by the way, these notes combined are all a part of the F harmonic minor scale. So again, we are playing a scale, we're playing from a scale, but we're not just kind of running up and down a scale. So it's interesting that we're creating scalar sounds. We can, if you wanted to. I mean this, that's like a scale, okay? But I'm not necessarily thinking of it as F harmonic minor, I'm thinking of it as a C triad. And it makes life easy, I think. I love this approach. So I'm just going to play a little bit of rhythm. I'll let Ron have some fun here with you guys too. But try that. Visualize your C shape. This is the easiest C shape, by the way. It's the A shape, by the way, you guys. So if you're thinking A major, here's C. So that's new for you. Just have some fun with that. This half step above and then half step below. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half step up. Try this.
Just a half step.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it sounds very exotic. I love it. Yeah, and don't be shy about it. Don't be shy about really bringing out the flavor of the note that you think is dissonant, because that's really what adds the flavor. So don't think, oh, I need to run back to the chord tone. You don't have to. Can you play me a C7 chord? I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to start right on that flat 9. Just have a lot of fun with it. Thank you, Ron. So
good.
Again, just have a lot of fun with those triad embellishments, okay? So going back now that I kind of took care of that and I talked about, again, learning your inversions, now it's time for us to choose some songs. I know you guys have a lot of different songs you're working on, but this is also kind of a repertoire class, so that's why I passed out that Django fake book. Because I might say, hey, let's take a look at After You've Gone, I'll See You in My Dreams. And the goal is to be able to see the chart and it says B flat 6, B flat minor 6, F, D7, and just be able to do these exercises. Again, this is my boot camp class to where, these are just drills that I feel are very important. I mean, it's not necessarily the most creative, but hopefully you can make it creative. But again, these are just really great drills that I feel are important. And then we want to also make it musical and throw in other licks and other phrases.